Hey, this is Earthy Love Medicine, and welcome back if you are subscribed to my channel, and welcome to you if you are new. Today is day 30 in my juice fast, cleanse, all the good stuff. And today was a pretty good day. um, I had good energy today, which was nice. I'm starting to feel different. Um, I did poop on my own without an enema today. Um, Shortly after like waking up or whatever, like within an hour or so, and it was like black sludge, and like a hard part came out, so I could tell I'm like breaking away at some of the hard stuff that's blocking me up. So that's amazing. That's something I've really been waiting for. So getting through this part is challenging, but so worth it. I'm really starting to feel better. Somebody that's lived at one of our properties for a long time, he's been struggling with health, and we had an interaction with him. And it turns out that my husband started telling him about what I'm doing. And then I had an opportunity to kind of hang out with him a little bit today. And I had him taste two different juices that I had already had made juiced up in the refrigerator. And he was like, "Whoa, I can't believe that you like drink this every day. This is amazing." He's like, "I could do this." And then um, because he's been having problems with his kidneys and stuff like that. And he actually was like on, um, a list for a kidney for a while and all kinds of stuff. And he basically was on like 20 different medications and he was dying. And freaking, he stopped taking all of them but one. But his body still fills up with toxins, and he's constantly having to be drained and different stuff like that. So he said that I inspired him, and I really hope that I did. And I've offered him that if he wants to, message me and ask me any questions. I sent him a link to John Rose video, one of his first ones that he put up. Um, it's really well done. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, and it's basically him doing a presentation somewhere and somewhere in Houston. And, of course, he has an audience asking questions, stuff like that. But in a whole, he really breaks everything down so well in that video. And I think that if anybody's going to start with John Rose, they should start there. Kind of just know what he's about from the beginning. And then I sent him a link to my channel, and then I sent him a link to Fully Raw Christina so he could have recipes or anything like that so he doesn't feel blind. I know for me, Fully Raw Christina really, really motivated me. She has hundreds of videos about different, I mean, not about like recipes straight up, where she's making really cool stuff. So she's the one that really made raw veganism like a dangling carrot for me, where I just really wanted that. And it took me a long time to get to this, place where I can do this for myself. But she did. She was one of the first that really inspired me to go raw, because I was looking into veganism and I kept coming across her. So, um, yeah. And then he just said, I feel really inspired by what you're doing, because I was explaining to him some of the benefits I've already had, like, the mental health and the brain fog has improved so much since the beginning of the year. And then even, with the juice fasting, but like right here, all of this used to be like I don't know, like how do I explain it? Like this, where they were like really swollen like all the time, and like that's almost completely gone away. So I mean, of course, now I have a whole bunch of skin from being really big, but it's whatever. I'm just glad to be getting this stuff off of my body. Um, but yeah, it was kind of cool, like sharing what I'm going through, and then like having this person get really excited and feel like I could do this, because when you've been sick and going to the doctor and needing help and them just not helping you. I mean, he said he's had like two colonoscopies, and I always say that word so weird, but and they never like told him that he has any kind of parasites or anything. I mean, I guess they don't see them in there. I'm not really sure how they don't see them, but if I have them, he has them. He still eats meat, he still eats dairy. He's still like very a part of all that. And so I just encouraged him, and I will encourage any of you out there that if you are interested in this at all and you're still eating meat and dairy and processed food and sugar and all that stuff, I'm just gonna say, excuse me, I got an itch. Start with one thing, you know, take out the meat and then take out the dairy, or, take out the processed foods, or take out the sugar. Like, pick one. And then next week or 2 weeks later, take another thing out, and then just slowly take them out if you're not like an all or nothing person. I'm pretty all or nothing, but then I struggle when I do that. So sometimes I just gotta, oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. My hand itch is really bad. My hands are really itchy right now. But I just think that it's part of the detox. I did I tried the, what's it called? I always have a hard time with this name. It's so easy. Dandelion. I did dandelion root enemas today. I did 2 of them. And they're supposed to support the colon, the liver, and the kidneys. And I was taking it the other way, but it tastes disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. So it's kind of like, take your medicine type thing. But I researched it and found out that I could do it the other way. And so that's what I'm doing. I think I'm blocking the thing. I'm so sorry. I'm a little fidgety tonight. So I did that. So maybe, it's detoxing out some of my stuff. And that's why I'm so itchy. Because I haven't been that itchy. Yeah, because like I even feel itchy here. Like I feel itchy. So I don't know. Maybe I'm pushing some stuff out. But I shared my juice, and that was really cool. And it's amazing how, like, I'm in this house and I'm not going nowhere, and going through some stuff with my kids kind of made me not want to talk about this with everybody, because I saw like the other side of it, of people thinking you're fucking weird and crazy because you're over here doing nothing but juicing. Like I'm a cult. um so stupid. But people who don't understand, they sometimes will come against you in ignorance. And that was something I was prepared for in the world, but I wasn't prepared for up close. And so it kind of made me realize that, not everybody's going to want what I have, especially if I haven't done it yet. So that's kind of where I've been at, is that I'm 30 days in, and that's probably farther than a lot of people will ever go. But at the same time, like, I'm not an expert at this, I haven't even finished. So for me, like, I feel humbled by that. Like, this is something that's, people are only going to really want what I got going on when they see that I've done it, right? So it's kind of like, I was thinking about this when I was taking my shower. I was like, I've been trying to tell people about this for years, even the same guy that I saw today. But the inspiration today, the way I was able to inspire him today compared to how I was able to inspire him a couple of years ago when I was overweight, because I knew this was the way. I knew being a vegan was the way. And now I know that being raw, at least mostly raw, is the way, right? So I kept trying to share this with other people, but I'm, 288 pounds trying to tell you how to be healthy. That's not, and then even as a vegan, I lost 70 pounds. And then I, of course, if you know my story, I gained 22 of it back, and then I've lost that since the year started. But, even it's like, even as I was losing the weight, I still had my eczema. I was still struggling with some stuff. So being a cooked vegan, and then that wasn't working, and I realized that that might have worked had I had already done something like this, but it's the other way around. So anyways, the whole point of saying that is because I think that it's a lot more inspiring to people when you've done it already, and you can kind of say, hey, everybody's different, but here's my little roadmap, and this is kind of what I did. And kind of inspire them that way. But it's like, you're not going to go to somebody who doesn't have $1 million and ask them how to make $1 million, right? So you're not going to go to somebody who's overweight and doesn't have what you want, basically, to find out how to be healthy. So, that's a harsh and hard realization when you get excited about something and you're all juiced up and like, yes, no pun intended. And you want everybody to know, and not everybody wants to know. Some people are like, shut the fuck up. I don't care about this. Like, stop trying to tell me not to eat meat. I tell everybody, if you want to start somewhere, stop eating animal stuff. Like, straight up. You want to be healthy, the first thing you should do is stop eating meat. And if you can do both, stop the dairy too. But I tell everybody, you'll feel amazing instantly. Like, one of the things I was sharing with him is that when I became a vegan, I was trying to be primarily raw. So I was like 80% raw, no sugar, no oils. I'm just trying to be as clean as I could. And within 14 days, all the swelling, I didn't even know I had swelling. I'm sitting on the couch with my husband. I got my foot up on the ottoman and I'm looking at my feet and I'm like, or my ankles, and my feet looked so much smaller, especially my ankles. Like, I didn't realize I had swelling. I thought that my ankles were big and everything was big because I was fat. I didn't know that I had so much toxicity in my body that I was all swollen up. So, the fact that within 14 days my swelling went down, that's a testament right there. Just take the animals out. Just take that part out. And then, you can kind of work through the rest and figure out what's going to work for you after that. But I'm telling you, maybe I think there's an exception to every rule. And maybe there are some human beings out there who are opposite and they can only eat meat. And I'm not talking to you. Okay? I'm talking to the people who are half sick and nearly dead, fat, sick, and nearly dead, and are trying all the stuff, the ketos and the blah, blah, blahs, and the trying to find something that's going to work. And I'm going to tell you, there is no easier, softer way. You have to take a look at the way your food is being prepared in the world. When you go to the supermarket, it's all laid out there for you. You don't know, you're not interpersonal with any of the food that you're eating, unless you're cooking some of it. And even then, you don't know what you're putting into your body, because these animals and the animal products, they're all, y'all, they're all coming from dirty, foul places. These are not clean environments where the animals are healthy and happy, and they're not all California cows. That's not the real shit. They're freaking treated like shit. They're all on antibiotics. They're being fed corn, which they can't freaking process, which means they cut a hole in the side of the cow so they could keep, to pull all the corn out of their four stomachs because they can't digest it. And then they give it antibiotics so it doesn't get infected, so that they can continue to strap a machine on them and subject them to continuously giving us milk. And then there's so much pus and disgustingness in the milk. They bleach out the freaking milk or whatever process they use to get it, and they put sugar and flour in it. And go look for yourself. Find out for yourself. Just that in and of itself is absolutely fucking disgusting. Milk is pus. Stop putting that nasty shit in your body. Like, I didn't used to think this way. And I haven't always loved milk, but I didn't used to think this way. I ate ice cream and and cheese and all that. I used to love cheese, but I can't get past the fact that all the cheese and all the stuff and the ice cream is pus and chemicals, antibiotics and all that kind of stuff, to the point where there's like super bugs that exist that antibiotics don't work on anymore. Like, you have a high tolerance to antibiotics. Then when you have some kind of ailment or something and you go to the hospital, it takes that much more that many more antibiotics to like even help you, if you can get help from it. And the amount of damage that antibiotics does on your gut biome is unbelievable. It really breaks you down. And I know, because I just went through that. So I'm telling you, cut out the meat, cut out the dairy, and then just kind of go from there. If you got to do the artificial meat for a while and do all that stuff just to transition, fucking do it. It's still better than putting those dead animals in your body, and it's still better than freaking eating on pus. I'm sorry, but it is. So, if you gotta pick one, pick the one that's not with a whole bunch of trauma and ugh. I know I'm kind of getting on my soapbox about it, and I'm really passionate about it. But I went through the process of getting to this place where I will not eat animals or their products. And like I said, I did not used to feel this way. Most people that go down this road didn't initially feel as passionately as they do. There's like, of course, the exception to every rule. There's a lot of people out there who love animals and they just don't eat that because they don't want to eat animals. But then, for me, I feel that way now, but I initially started this journey a decade ago, almost a decade ago, because I didn't want to be unhealthy for the rest of my life. And it's just, I've been unwrapping this and unwrapping this for a decade, and it's not just about the food. It's all connected. Um, Everything's connected. And I can go into all of that, you know, um, the way they've regulated our food and how, Monsanto, who basically is destroying our crops, we can't sue them for anything. We can't, for what they do to people. Like, if you want to know anything about our crops and what happens to our crops, look up Monsanto. They are, something special. And I did all my research and I don't feel like explaining who they are and what they do, but I promise you, when you start following down that rabbit hole and you start freaking wrapping the amount of bullshit, just straight up bullshit that these fuckers get away with, while all of us are over here and fucking dying from all the shit they're putting into our food. And and hate me if you will, but I hate the fact that I look at how when I was a kid, cancer was like a new thing. Like, you didn't know people with cancer. You knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who had a person that they loved that died from cancer, but it wasn't like some normal thing. That shit is normal now. I know somebody a little bit younger than me that freaking had cancer and freaking, dealt with it. But, like, that's hella normal. And then the one thing I was going to say, like, don't hate me, but autism, autism is at an all-time high. I know two people who have kids who have vax injuries that cause their children to have autism. And they know it because they have videos of their children being normal children, and they, to kind of prove, but they knew their children. They knew that, cognitively, that their children were there, that they were normal, thriving children. And then they put some bullshit into their body, and now they're thriving children, but they're complicated, and because they're high sensory. So, I'm just saying, could this help people with autism? Could this plant-based thing, like, is this really what we have right here? Is this like this whole thing that we've all, like, that we're against? Like, so many people are like, I don't eat vegetables like that, or I don't eat fruit like that. Like, ew, like, it's the opposite of how we're supposed to be. So, what can we actually heal with this? This is what I really want to know. My goal is to heal myself and show other people the way. And that's what I'm going to do. And so day 30, I feel a little bit like a rock star right now, because I feel like, fuck, I just didn't eat for 30 days. Like, that's a long fucking time to not eat food. Sorry, guys, but it is. And that's something to feel pretty proud of. And I am, because even if I stopped right now, I would feel proud of myself. But on day 30, like I said earlier in the video, kicked out some sludge. So I am obviously not done, because if I'm still pushing stuff like that out of my body, then I need to keep going. So stick around and see what happens to me. I mean, I'm starting to feel pretty different, and I'm just in the beginning. So, like I said, stick around, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're interested in seeing more of my content. I will not always be recording videos of myself talking about my poop. I'm hoping that this opens a lot of doors for me in here and in here, that will help me evolve and, share more content that is more of like the physical act of what I'm doing, my juices that I'm making, the foods that I create, because I will be creating some really good food once I'm done with this. Because when I'm allowed to eat, I'm going to be the best raw vegan ever. Because I already like to cook and I'm already good at it and I'm already getting good at making raw shit. So I want to get my whole family raw too. So, anyways, thanks for visiting my channel and I hope that I've inspired you somehow. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. Take care.